Alex Hormozy and Cody Sanchez and Gary Vee, what they do absolutely can work, and we've seen it, but what we don't really get to see is what is being missed on the outside of that. I don't need investors, I don't need to go national, I don't need to go global, and I can make a very sustainable amount of money for myself. Hello and welcome back. My name is Ashley. You are on my Ashley Speaks channel, specifically branding as No Brands Land, because we are talking all things humanizing business, spirituality, the black and white and gray parts of business and marketing, all of the things. So we're getting very practical, we're getting very surface level, and then we're also going more human nature, spiritual psychology, all of those things. If you like that stuff, and that's kind of what you're getting into, or you have an interest in it, or you're curious, I encourage you to stick around. If you are a returning visitor, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really, really mean that. It helps more than you know. I wanted to do this video specifically on what we can do with our day-to-day work days. I've been trying to really implement this almost rigidly to really give myself the time to try it out before I recommended it for others. And I am loving this balance. I have so much to talk about. It's a true story. I'm absolutely living it right now. And I want to share with you how you can really harmonize your work week, balance your days, and what that looks like for me. Pretty much all of us are familiar with the 40-hour work week. We either love it or we hate it. I don't know a single person that genuinely loves working the 40 hours or wants to work more unless it's directly related to how much money they can make. So we are going to do a deep dive into what it could look like working a 3-day week or a 4-day week and what that balance looks like specifically for me. I am currently practicing a 3-day week. I'm going to explain more about the energy behind that and why I made that decision and why that was important for me and the type of entrepreneur, the type of creative that I am. When I first started my entrepreneurship journey, I found it really difficult to pull away from the computer, to stop doing my work, to put things down, because I always felt like I can just do a little bit more. Or if I do just a few more minutes, which eventually turns into hours, I'll get further ahead, I'll be more successful. And I just want to burst your business bubble today and let you know it's all a lie. You can absolutely go the hustle route. What I'm telling you is I've done it. It's not exactly sustainable long term. Most entrepreneurs can handle that for maybe a decade, but eventually you're going to start to feel symptoms of burnout and fatigue, exhaustion. You're going to do career changes or pivots. This is now backed by studies, especially in the IO psychology space, where people leave entire careers altogether because they've just evolved past needing or wanting the kind of lifestyle they created for themselves. And I want to just preface that by saying that it's very normal to do that as you evolve and grow as a person. Your interests, your skill sets, your needs are also going to evolve. So, no pressure here. I want to talk more now about what I'm doing. I want to be able to be very transparent about what my work week looks like. I do have an admin that helps me. She also operates on the same schedule. So I am not the entrepreneur that is like, I want my own business and I'm going to force my team to work the hours that I don't want to work. I just don't do it that way. If I really want to advocate for this space and advocate for changes in the workplace to benefit our mental well-being, our personal, physical, spiritual well-being, then I need to lead by example. And that includes allowing and making room for my team to do the same thing. So you can imagine, as I'm on this path and trying to figure out what looks best for business, I'm following people like Alex Hormozy and Cody Sanchez and Gary Vee and, Grant Cardone, whoever, right? So all of these business gurus that really came out in the last handful of years that have really perpetuated the hustle mentality, that is who I was following. And that was my definition for a very long time about what success looked like. And I know Cody Sanchez is a little bit newer to the block as far as being known for what she's speaking. I'm very vocal about not agreeing with a lot of the things that they talk about and the concepts that they push, and not from a perspective that it doesn't work. What they do absolutely can work, and we've seen it, but what we don't really get to see is what is being missed on the outside of that. Like, what is being compromised, right? What is their real day-to-day lives looking like? their health, their relationships. If that is not the kind of high stress, high caliber lifestyle that you want to live, if that's not your pathway or the way that you identify with business, then that's not going to be for you. So you absolutely can go those routes. But if you're on my channel, watching this video, knowing that I come from more of a spiritual approach, more of a human approach, more of a down-to-earth approach, you're probably already understanding that that's not your style for business. It's my personal opinion that there is not one way to do business, and success is really, truly defined by how you want to define it. I just working here in my local area with my media company, I can make a phenomenal living just by serving local clients. I don't need investors. I don't need to go national. I don't need to go global, and I can make a very sustainable amount of money for myself. So I just say that to kind of put into context that you get to determine, you get to choose what business looks like for you, what that pathway looks like. And if it's not the hustle culture, influencer style culture, the Grant Cardone type of like hustle and deals and sales, then probably you're going to more resonate with what I'm sharing. And that is principles backed in IO psychology and also my personal experiences and a lot of polling through my degree to really understand what people are looking for. So you are in good hands here. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Now, getting into what I do personally, I look at this from a very practical standpoint of output versus input. And what I look at is how much time I'm dedicating to myself to really inspire, gain creative capabilities, really sit back and allow myself to detach enough or just enough to kind of see things from a different perspective. When I feel inspired and creative, that is when I am the most productive. So therefore, I know that for me personally, in order to be productive, I need to allow myself the space to be creative and inspired. And if I'm not allowing myself the space to be creative and inspired, then I'm not going to produce. The only reason I can consistently show up right now and do these videos is because of the work-life balance that I've established for myself when I experienced burnout after burnout after burnout. So this has come from a long career for me and just figuring out what works best for me. And for a lot of years, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I was like, why am I like tired? Why am I procrastinating? Why is it that every time I get an amazing opportunity, I sabotage it because I realize that it's not exactly what I thought or what I wanted? So I thought for the longest time that it was me. And it turns out that it is me, but not that I was the problem. It was me not allowing myself the guardrails or the boundaries to set myself up for success. You see, once you start to really get to know yourself and what your interests are and how you work, then you can establish a pathway that is going to sustain you in that way. If you are looking to take a heavy vehicle, like a tank, to a pathway down a road, you're probably not going to choose like a rickety wooden bridge for it to cross over. You're probably going to need something a little bit tougher like cement. So once you know what you're capable of and what your needs are and how you operate, you'll be able to then define the right path for the vehicle, which is you, to get through to create what you need to create. And I feel like that was a big word salad, like just a lot of words. I tend to do that to basically say, take the time to really understand your patterns. And remember, if you've seen other videos of mine, or if you haven't, I'll say it right now, but if you have seen other videos of mine, then what I constantly talk about is that the feelings we feel, the depression, the stuckness, the procrastination, the dread, those are all symptoms of our being telling us that something's not aligning with our lifestyle. That could be food, that could be environment, that could be your responsibilities, your roles, that could be obligations that you have. So if something's not aligning, you are going to experience these intense feelings of unhappiness or discontentment, because that is the signal, the big signals that is telling you something's not aligned. When you're really happy, when you're truly aligned, nobody can tell you a damn thing about your life, yourself, or what you're doing, because you are high on life. You are at the top of the mountain. And for those of you who maybe feel like you'll never get there, I feel you. I have been there. I have a long history of dealing with those sort of feelings, especially being a very empathic, sensitive, visionary myself. And I finally figured out what it was and what I needed. This doesn't work for everybody, but it is absolutely important to understand in the context of being a visionary or a creator. If you're here, if you're into soft entrepreneurship, if you're into spiritual or conscious business, then you are right on the same page. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so now that I've talked your ear off completely, let's get into what I actually do, what my weeks actually look like, or what I at least try to stick to as much as possible. We just opened a brick and mortar business. I have my media company. I'm expanding into a bigger unit. So during times like this, I do tend to work a little bit more to allow myself the space to be able to produce content like this. I need the space to do it. I need that to be done, right? But when we're talking about just the normal day-to-day work week, I only work 3 days a week. Now, I do that because I am also finishing my master's. I'm a parent. I also have other things that I like to do as a human that don't involve work. I do go to networking events. I tend to keep myself quite busy. So how I've structured my schedule is absolutely crucial to just maintaining my own success. And I do that by making sure that I'm balancing my output versus my input. Now, I said this earlier in the video, we're really going to get into the in-depths of what this looks like. And what that looks like for me and how I've designed my weekly schedule is that I work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I really only do maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, but that is enough for me to at least be productive. And I pair that with my admin who also works the same hours. So when you put us together, it's like one fantastic person knocking out a full 40-hour work week, or in our case, a 30-hour work week. We really get a lot done because we're hyper focused for those short few hours. And then we detach to go on and find inspiration and do other things. Now, the way I look at it when I'm working Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that is my output days. I'm putting out my work, my productivity, I'm putting out my ideas, I'm making videos like this, and that allows me to just be super productive because I know I'm going to have those down days. Tuesdays and Thursdays, again, this is how I have it structured. I take a step back. Those are days for me to kind of indulge. I can watch movies, I can listen to podcasts, I can do an extra long workout, I can go on a hike, I can meditate, whatever it is that I want to do, I get to fully indulge in myself. That could be going to get my hair done or my nails, whatever it is. Those are my 2 days to just essentially just F off and do whatever I want to do to feel whatever it is that I need to feel for those days or for that week. Those are my days that I receive. That is how I allow myself the space to detach and really tap into any intuitive creativity or inspiration that I need to finish my work week. And then Fridays are really great output days for me because I've had the entire week to get inspired from those two inward days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is output. Tuesday and Thursday is input. What can I receive? If you're gonna empty the glass, you need to fill it back up. It's very important, very practical. And then my weekends are dedicated to being a mom, my family, doing family things. So I try really hard not to do any work on the weekends, but I do my schoolwork, which again is an output factor on top of putting an output for my family and my kids. So for me, that has been a really great balance. I look forward to my Tuesdays and Thursdays to do whatever I want to do. And then the rest of the week, I'm really just cranking out all of the things. It is absolutely phenomenal what you can do with your productivity when you have the right mind space. Now, we're going to get into a little bit of the bio stuff here as a woman. And thank goodness there are actual experts in this field really talking on the hormone cycle of women and what we go through. Because what I do is going to look very different, for example, from maybe a man or somebody else who doesn't have the same hormone cycles that I have. I have about 2 or 3 really rock solid weeks where like nothing can stop me at all. Like I am unstoppable, period, during those 2 or 3 weeks. But then I have a solid week, usually right before I start my menstrual cycle. It's that entire week before, where I'm just kind of foggy, a little bit kind of nostalgic, a little bit of melancholy. And it's not like a real sadness. It's more of like a stillness. Like I just need to kind of recharge, be in myself, and just be a little bit lazy. I do allow myself that time to be a little bit lazy. And the reason I do that is because I am raising kids, and I do realize that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And if I want to really hit the ground running hard, once they're older and I have a little bit more freedom to do that, then I have to set myself up for success by laying a proper foundation now for myself, taking care of my health, really enjoying life. I have my youthfulness. I have plenty of money to use and live and enjoy things with. Why wouldn't I take the opportunity to live now, to play now, to create now? This entire life, this big floating ball that we live on in the middle of space with made up rules that people before us put in place, we just have to realize that life is not that serious and that we have full permission to play and to create and to really lean into the enjoyment of this life. So that is how I structure my weeks. If you resonate with that at all, feel free to connect with me. I'd love to share more about what I do. I will do that, especially through this channel, but you have my information. Connect with me. Take this as encouragement and inspiration. If the work week that I described doesn't work for you, find out what does, and then make that your work week. You have full control to determine how you spend your time, what you're going to do. Even if it doesn't feel like it, you do. You have full authority over your time, your life, and I want you to feel empowered to step into that. All right, that is the end of what I have to say, my little rant for today. And that is all about finding your balance in business, really making sure that you're balancing if you are going to pursue a softer style of entrepreneurship versus the hustle culture that's out there. Then I hope this has been inspiring for you. If you are new here, thank you for visiting. I hope you give me a follow, a share, or a subscribe. It does help more than you know. Stay connected with me. This is just the very infant stages of this channel, and I promise it is going to blow up. It's going to get big. I have a lot of foundational building that I've done over the past several years to establish something like this, and I'm just now coming out in the forefront to really share it all. So I promise if you love this topic, stick around. I also want to share I have vision board books. If you don't know what this is, it is basically your modern day vision board. So if you do the vision board posters, but then at the end of the year, you're kind of like, what did that picture mean? Like, what goal did I have? What was that inspirational quote about? I encourage you to try this. You can cut and paste all of your pictures here, and on the other side of the book, it's a hardcover, so it's fully protected and it can travel with you. It's very thin, but it's an amazing vision board book to just get all of the photos that you would have on a vision board poster, but you actually get to journal and work through your milestones, document what's changing, what you're letting go of, new partnerships that you're getting. It's a great way to hold yourself accountable. And I have like 15 different styles. So if this scrapbooky look is not your style, I have a minimalist look. I have just a lot of different colors and patterns you can choose from, but that is my way to just keep myself accountable, establish my milestones, and really figure out what's happening throughout the year. I get to co-create with my goals rather than just putting it on a wall and forgetting what the goals even were. If you love that, I encourage you to check it out. The link is in my bios everywhere, and I'm gonna go chill out. I'm doing a fast today. I am starting this health journey, so you can learn all about what I'm going through and what I'm experiencing in my connection chats. Those are just random videos of me just kind of being human with you and sharing what my life is actually like. And I'll see you on the other videos. Bye.